In 1948, just a hair over 16,000 of these beauties were built. This is the Ford Model 76 Convertible Coupe. At just a little over 3,000 pounds, this car only cost $1,500 in 1948, which at the time was a lot of money, but by today's standards, it's nothing, right? This particular version was slightly resto-modded, been lowered down a tiny bit. It's got a Chevy 350 in it. The interior's all been redone. It's got some modern conveniences like air conditioning, a radio, and power windows. This is one of those cars that just screams drive me. On a day like today, all you want to do is just rip the top off, jump in this thing, and just go cruise around. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Hello and welcome to Behind the Wheel. Today I'm joined by British rock band The Struts frontman Luke Spiller. We're going to cruise around Portland in 1948 Deluxe Ford Convertible, and I think we're going to be talking about his 1983 Mini as well.
We are.
Oh man, what a beautiful day, right?
It is. So this is my first soft top experience.
Oh, serious? There's something about driving these things, like just the attitude they have and the way that people respond to them. Like this is the quintessential American convertible. So
I'm honestly like, I'm not a huge muscle car fan. Like, I love some of the Ford muscle cars. I love the look of them.
Yep.
But after owning my Mini, which I've had over 10 years now.
Yep.
It's my first car I've ever had. And it's actually the only one I've ever bought, really. Because it's a small engine, and with a car like that, you've got to really learn to like respect it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, when I was a bit younger, I used to like rag the hell out of it. You know, but as I've got older and it's become more and more sentimental to me, you know, the thought of ever, you know, like damaging her in any way, I've kind of like learned to like drive very respectably.
It's funny how a car can do that. You had no prior experience with a Mini, right?
No.
Right? And just all of a sudden, bam, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's
I just fell in love with it.
The universe just says, you're a Mini guy.
Yeah. And I love them now, and the Mini community is really great. You know, in the Southwest where I'm living, when you're driving along, you see other Mini drivers, and we're all like
waving at each other.
Yeah, it's a really cool community, you know. I just love it.
You can be cool, you can be shy, say what you want, say what you like, 'cause your body talks, your body talks, your body talks. You can be...
Did you watch the Royal Wedding?
I did not watch the Royal Wedding. I saw some snippets and it looked quite beautiful.
She was driven to the chapel in a beautiful Rolls Royce.
And I heard she left in a Jaguar.
Yes.
Electric Jaguar.
An electric
Electric Jaguar, yeah.
Now,
converted.
What's your feelings on the electric conversion?
Nothing.
For classic cars?
I don't like it.
No?
I mean, I like the fact that they're supposed to be green, but let's be honest, it's really not that green because of the production of the batteries and all the cells that are needed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't really feel that it is. If you do your research to find out about, they still don't have a proper disposal method for all that stuff.
Right.
So I feel like in the long term, are we really helping ourselves? But, you know, I guess the lack of, you know, carbon emissions and those types of things will make a difference.
And the reliability.
And the reliability,
you know,
correct.
But you don't put your foot down.
Yeah, you don't get.
I mean, I've got mixed feelings on the electric conversion because I know nothing about like the engines and stuff like that.
Right.
You know,
you're an aesthetic guy.
Yeah.
It looks a certain way, that makes good sense to you.
You know, and I can kind of see, you know, if I was to have like a gorgeous like classic car and it was electric, you know, the maintenance level, you know, would like make a lot of sense to a person like me.
Yeah.
You know, but it would feel like extremely different. You know, like I wouldn't do it to the Mini, You know, I mean, I'm even scared of like getting a different engine in,
Right.
just to be like, oh my god, it's not the same. You know.
I will say this though, if you do the electric conversion of the Mini, it's going to be about 5 times as fast.
Oh, of course,
Which would be
yeah.
super duper fun.
Which would be fun, but it wouldn't feel the same.
Right.
You know, and it kind of worries me. You know.
There's a guy in California that does a lot of the electric conversions to Porsches and Volkswagens.
Right.
And I don't know, for me, again, just like you know, going on what you said, part of the romance for me about Volkswagen is that air-cooled motor, the sound that it makes.
Yeah.
You know? I don't drive that car to go fast.
No.
I drive that car to clear my head or just chill out, you know?
Have fun.
Yep.
That's what I like about the classic cars, is that it's not just about getting from A to B.
Yeah.
It's that it makes driving fun again. And
Yes.
even when I sort of like stay in LA every now and then, I try and, you know, I'll spend a little bit more out of my own pocket to get a car which is a bit more fun to drive.
Well, LA is such a great place to be based out of for a drive. I mean, because you can go up to Runyon Canyon.
Yeah.
You can go down to the PCH.
Yeah, drive through Malibu.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
everything.
And it's just beautiful.
It's nice.
Yeah. I think this time you should get a convertible.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, it's time.
A lot of my Mini friends won't be very impressed when I say this, but I did rent like a Mini Cooper S, like the new BMW
Oh, yeah?
ones.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun in it. You know, I didn't have a convertible,
Right.
but you know, driving around, you know, it had like its sport mode.
Uh-huh.
And when I went into sport mode, I was like, oh my god, now this feels like my car. You know, like the really responsive steering
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's nice.
You know, the price of cars is getting crazy. So this 1948 Deluxe, right? This is a Type 76, I believe is what they called it internally. This car was $1,500 in 1948,
Wow.
which is almost what you paid for your Mini,
Yeah.
you know, 50 years later.
So, great place for cars. I went to Graceland
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
I saw all of Elvis's cars.
Which was a big collection.
Oh my god. I mean, he had the ones I saw there alone. He had 2 beautiful Rolls Royces.
Ooh. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
These old things, when you hit the brakes, they're like, ah!
What is it? Disc brake?
It's, no, these are still drum.
Oh, really?
And so what happens is, as they just kind of wear differently, so if you go to be aggressive on the brakes, these cars are like a large person on roller skates.
Yeah.
Not fun.
I had my Mini converted to.
Disc brake?
Yeah. Just a bit safer. you know.
It is, yeah.
But he had some absolutely amazing cars in that collection. He had the iconic pink Chevy was there, which was his mum's car. Well, they called it his mum's car, even though she couldn't even drive.
Somebody posted online a few months ago, somebody had found one of Elvis's airplanes. It had
Really?
been parked in somewhere in Arizona, had been mothballed, had been sitting there for, since he died. And it was all crushed velour inside,
Yeah.
those little TVs everywhere, the whole plane was gold. Oh man, it was crazy.
I saw 2 of his planes there. He had Boeing,
Uh-huh.
larger plane, and he had the smaller, kind of like private jet looking
Yep.
plane. But apparently the Lisa Marie, Queen actually used that plane, and if you go into it, towards the back, there's a huge double bed. And the current singer of Yes, told me about it, and Queen used it to charter around, I think it was the States, and Roger Taylor got a hold of some MDMA,
Uh-huh.
and him and Freddie did it on Elvis's plane, the Lisa Marie, and that back bed, apparently they spent the whole journey just rolling around in it, like, you know.
Oh, how
feeling
badass
the-
is that?
you know,
Like
how
you're
sick is
literally
that?
creating history in history.
I know.
Oh man.
Same.
You know, life was a lot more fun before social media and cameras.
You know what? It really was. So I find myself extremely lucky to have gone through all of like my really important years without all of that.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I mean there was MySpace, but I was never really like full on into that.
Yeah.
And Facebook came sort of like 2021, but having that sense of like community and like little meeting points that you have with your friends.
Yeah.
And driving as well. I had the Mini then.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And you could be a jackass and nobody was Snapchatting you or.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 44.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if I did half the that I did then now, oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
I was a very different person back then. You know, and I'm kind of glad that a lot of more of my shameful moments and behavior hasn't been captured and forever immortalized on the internet, you know.
But don't you also feel grateful that you were able to probably look at people that you emulate and respect? And, you know, I know that, you know, Michael Jackson was a huge influence for you as a child, you know, and then, you know, Freddie Mercury and I know Queen, you know, the whole, as a group, and watching what they had to go through. And I think that you seeing the success build, you're probably internalizing and saying, I don't want to go that direction.
No.
You know, I want to be here to celebrate this.
Yeah, especially a band called The Darkness, you know, like I know they sort of had their moment here in the States, but you know, when they came out, I was like 16, and they kind of changed my perspective on music forever. They really like inspired me to like join a band and discover a lot of music from that group. And again, you know, like unfortunately, like they really blew up, and you know, to be quite frank, they kind of really up their whole situation with drugs and alcohol and
being rock stars.
Yeah, and you know, it was a real shame because you only get that momentum once.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're lucky, and I find myself really lucky to kind of like look at them, and I really don't want to sort of like fall into the same trap, you know.
Well, in doing some of the reading I did about you, I mean, you seem to be a pretty mindful person. Some of the things that you talk about are about the world around you and how you're going to be perceived in legacy. So I found that as a respect point for you that I think you're going to be around for a long time based on that.
I want to be, you know.
Man, that was fun. It's not every day you get to cruise around with a British rock star turning American rock star in a drop-top Ford. In this weather in the Pacific Northwest, everything just aligned perfectly. Lucas, thank you. What a kick-ass opportunity it was to meet you and rap about, you know, your love for cars, talk about your Mini, and talk about life. All right, guys, thanks for watching Behind the Wheel. If you liked what you saw, if there's somebody you want to see on the episode, or there's a vehicle you'd like to see us feature, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and watch these extra episodes we've got on this side over here. Have a great day.